All right, Zath, it looks like we're ready to drop into Game 1 of the NA Finals. Are you ready?
I see that.
Are you good?
Yeah, shall we move into our cinematic?
Let's do this. The rocky shores of the North Sea comprise the setting for a titanic clash of enemy fleets. This is North. North is a 48 by 48 kilometer domination-style map with 3 cap points running a line from west. Get it again. The rocky shores of the North Sea comprise the setting for a titanic clash of enemy fleets. This is North. North is a 48 by 48 kilometer domination-style map with 3 cap points running a line from west to east. The A cap is on the left, B is in the center, and C is on the right. Cap A on the left is the most open and accessible on the board. There are plenty of ways in and out for destroyers and not many places for radar cruisers to hide nearby. As the smallest capture area on the board, the most common access to Cap B comes from due north or south, but there is a small access via a channel between the islands on the eastern edge. Further to the east, Cap C has a single island within that can provide some cover for ships attempting to capture, but there's enough island cover nearby to conceal radar cruisers from multiple directions. 18 ships, 2 teams, 1 victor. It's time to play North.
Here we go, guys. Game 1 of FIM versus 07 King of the Sea Finals on NA. This is super exciting. Absolutely. Here we go. We've got FIM with Ohio, Kremlin, Double Des Moines, Salem, Venezia, Summers, Daring, and a Grozavoy.
Grozavoy!
Yeah.
07 coming to the dance with double Montana. William the Dank is super happy. Whoa. Okay, we're team killing.
Team killing going
so
on.
I'm assuming that means it's time for a mulligan.
Well, you guys are watching are gonna have to wait as we go back to port.
Yeah.
Try this again.
Let's try this one more time. Just as I was zooming in on William, he'd assassinated Pulley. I was like, what? But at least the message is very clear that we've had a mulligan and it's time to go back to the training room. You can't, when you're a caster, you can't miss that message.
That's a good message. That's a very good message.
So what's really awesome, just looking through the team lineups, right? I hadn't quite gotten through 07s, but I saw double Montana, which their battleship players are excited. But William the Dank is one of the most artistic battleship shots I've ever seen, right? With those guns, and he and Potato Quality just do ridiculous things with battleship guns, and I love watching them play. And then both teams opting for a triple destroyer composition, if I read that correctly. So that's interesting because 07 in King of the Sea 9, 07 was some of the only people that ran triple destroyer consistently through the event. But we're seeing it again here. And we're also seeing FIM do the same thing. They're different destroyers. They're picking different destroyers, but they're still picking 3 destroyers. It almost feels a little Zath like we've kind of gone back to the days of Supremacy League, right? Where everybody, your team started with 2 battleships and 3 destroyers. And the question is, which cruisers do you take? Right? The meta in King of the Sea has shifted around a bunch over the years, and some teams run no destroyers. We've seen teams on EU and NA run no destroyers. Now it feels like maybe we're getting back to some more traditional comps.
Mm-hmm. That's exciting to see, too.
It is actually. There's such a good variety. Like, when we started playing, competitive, there was only basically three options, right, for destroyers we were playing Tier 8 because it was Supremacy League, but you had Benson, you had Fubuki, old Tier 8 Fubuki, and I think they had introduced Z23 by then, maybe. But that was really it, right? Well, nobody took a Fubuki. Everybody played Benson. It was just World of Bensons.
Mm-hmm.
All right, game's loading again, guys. We'll be on our way back onto the board momentarily. I'm just going to start off here, and we'll take a spin through the 07 lineup because nobody's allowed to change their lineup, so it'll be real easy to check this out here.
Yep, I was just going to mention that. So One of the rules is if there's a mulligan, you absolutely have to go back to the same exact line.
Indeed. So here we are looking at 07's lineup once again. We said double Montana, double Des Moines, Venezia, Yoshino, Zath. That's not a ship that we commonly see in King of the Sea. And then Daring and double Shimakaze. Both of
We've seen,
'07's Montanas opting for the funky Halloween camo too, the Halloween skin.
yes, the Leviathan. Oh, no, sorry, Crocosaur.
Whatever.
Crocosaur.
It's creepy. It's creepy
Crocosaur.
looking, whatever it is. Look at this thing.
Oh,
Woo!
yeah. Love that game mode. That was so much fun.
All right. Well, with 3 destroyers on each side of the map, you expect to see lots of early cap contesting, and I don't think we're going to be disappointed here. But it does mean that with only 2 radars on their side of the map, '07 is only going to be able to radar cover a couple of these caps. They're going to have to leave one kind of exposed. Right now, it looks like that's going to be the A cap. Will not have radar for '07.
I'm kind of excited to see Montana's. We haven't seen Montana's all tournament, really.
We really haven't.
And they're great medium range ships. We've seen William the Dank just
Oh.
land shots, and
Yes.
Potato Quality is also a battleship main prodigy.
Yes.
So we'll have to see what they can make how they can make the Montana work for him. The big thing about Montana is its maneuverability. It can reposition a lot easier than a Yamato can.
Certainly more easy than a Yamato or a Kremlin, in my opinion. And we've seen, this might be the first match that we've seen all tournament without a Kremlin in it at all on either side. Well, I mean, there's one on the opposite side, but like a team not running a Kremlin, I think is just at this point been almost unheard of. Speaking of Kremlin, Kazakh getting some early damage in on Doyle's Des Moines. Now, Zath, you and I watched who was it? Was it a group game where I think it was Cute pushed a Des Moines into this position and he got absolutely destroyed in a few minutes. You remember that game?
Yes. That was Buenos Noches, wasn't it?
Yeah, I believe it was. I think it was BN that did that. I forget who their opponent was, but oh man, was that painful to watch. That poor Des Moines. I think
it was Buenos Noches Cad.
I think you're correct, Zath. Doyle, however, using his radar and then letting his teammate do the lion's share of the work, driving a Matsukaze off the B cap as he kind of positions with his guns looking up this little channel in between the B and the C cap. Jones's Shimakaze working the extreme western edge of C, looking like he's going to bag this for free, possibly. He's within range of Gaishu's Des Moines' radar over here, but doesn't seem like that's going to happen.
Well, nobody can really shoot Jones, so what's the point of radaring?
The Ohio might have a shot, but it's one of those, like, why would you bother? It's such a crapshoot.
Yeah, Kelsier's not looking that way, though. He's looking at Pizza, I think.
There comes the radar there comes the radar from Gaishu, wanting to get eyes on everybody. No kind of info radar, know where everybody is. They know Jones now off the cap. Doyle reverse back where he's got great cover from Kazakh Imports guns, but they do pick up pieces of Pizza's daring on the bottom end of B and push him into cover.
Now, it's interesting. Gaishu's positioning in the Des Moines. Typically, we see the Des Moines facing C with the bow, but his bow is facing that channel into B. It makes me think that FIM is looking to hold C more than take it.
You kind of get that sense, and also I think maybe they've got Turkish's Salem and Hatsuzuki's Grozovoy kind of swanning around on the 9-10 line. Like, they're in a position to go into there and kind of work that cap and possibly defend it from that side, right? If you push the Salem up over here along this edge on the northeastern edge of the C cap, he might have pretty decent position as long as you can get rid of that Venezia down south.
Well, that's going to be the key, isn't it?
Yeah, you got to be able to take that position and hold it. SAT score doing some early work with the torpedoes, it looks like. I'm not sure how Yamamoto's taking damage in his Des Moines, but he's down some HP already.
I was just thinking that.
Yeah.
I was thinking that. But it looks like he repaid the favor slightly.
Indeed, it does. 07, 5 minutes gone. 07 ticking up on the C cap. About 70-point lead here. Both teams kind of clawing for initial early position as it looks as if FIM's going to bag A, and they do. Could be Williams just firing his guns over at Yamamoto's Des Moines, so it could be that he's just getting good shots in. I got to say, Zath, I'm really glad I don't have to play a cruiser against William and Potato. Let's just put it that way.
Well, you say that as William the Dank just wrecks Yamamoto from the rear there.
Yep. He took about 5 or 6K there.
SAT score might take a torpedo here.
He's going to take a torp. Yes, he is.
Oh, right in the butt.
Didn't quite get out of the way of that one in time. RNG kind of blessing Kelsier Summers there.
So this is something that we see. I've made this mistake as a bit of a noob often. You have to be careful not to reverse, because when you do, um, when you see that torpedo, you've got really very little reaction time. And he tried to pull forward, but just it didn't happen quickly enough because of that.
We see now Pieces of Pizza working the bottom end of the B cap. He smokes. Amatsukaze on the opposite side smokes. Both teams putting up Des Moines radar, allowing these gearings to shoot at each other and continue pot shots. But it's definitely going to drive Pieces off simply because Gaishu's radar in the back there was available. I think they made this play thinking that his radar was down.
Or that he had relocated, maybe even.
Indeed. He really hasn't. He's kind of hanging out on that corner.
So for those of you guys listening, if you're ever in a position in a destroyer, the last thing you want to do is back up unless you absolutely know you're safe to do so.
It's interesting, Zath, if you look at like the overall map position, both teams kind of sort of mirroring each other, right? Like you look at the battleship positions for both teams, they're both kind of playing along the midline, sort of on the 4-5 line for one, for each team. And then the cruisers are kind of scattered around, and then you've got a destroyer trying to work each cap circle. Pieces of Pizza, there's these
SAT
long...
repeating the problem.
Oh,
there it is.
No! SAT succumbs to Summers torpedoes over here on the 2 line.
Made that same mistake. He was caught reversing. Couldn't get out of there.
I'd be willing to bet then that's Kelsier using RPF to his advantage to be able to put those torpedoes in the right vicinity and bag a big kill early here for FIM. That really reduces their ability to hold back a push from that side of the map. It does look like Pieces is going to bag B. While we've been just gabbing about that, Hatsuzuki has moved into C with his Groza boy over here. Now is about to be challenged by MF Jones's Shimakaze.
Yeah, this is a pretty strong position for Hatsuzuki Kai because that little island there prevents torpedoes from going right into that smoke.
It does indeed. Not much doing.
Getting a good hit on Pizza there with Ohio guns.
Not much doing on the 9-10 line. Most of the action right now seemingly centered around the B cap as Pieces got driven off before he could finish capping. Right now, FIM up a ship and the only team ticking up points here on the strength of their A cap with 8 minutes gone here on North.
Jones is in trouble now as I think somehow they're detecting him. Gaishu maybe radar.
It's possible. Now a counter radar going up from Pulikat's Des Moines, but it's a little late. They can't stop the cap now. Gaishu had reversed a ways.
I'm really surprised to see Pulikat in Des Moines. He's really good in Destroyer.
William over here looking for cross shots on Gaishu through that gap along the edge of the B cap. Got some shells. Somebody, I think it might have been Yoshino shells going in. But they got some damage on Gaishu, but he's certainly got plenty of health left for the moment. They got a lot of good damage into Suzuki as they pushed him off the cap.
Did.
In fact, more Venezia shells still coming in as he pops a heel. That's going to allow Jones to rotate back up and get back onto C. They need that. They can't. There's pretty much nothing they can do about the A cap right now.
His Turkish is now opening up on Saving My Virginity to try to save his team.
Yeah, Turkish's Salem is in a really good blocking position over there. Like, no one's probably going to come around that way, but it doesn't look like 07 had ever planned to even try it. They're just using the Venezia over there to keep him honest.
Look at the combined firepower on William the Dank right now. 4 ships targeting him.
Indeed. William under a ton of hate right now as he's trying to get some island cover. Gaishu Amatsukaze.
Look at Kelsier opening up over there. That's disrespect right there.
That's pretty ballsy there. The Summers even opening up from the 3 line with his guns as now Pieces takes him under fire. And he's forced to... Ooh, William took a shot too. Got a decent hit, not an amazing one, but a decent one. But Williams lost over half his HP. Keep waiting, thinking Jones is going to get onto the cap, but it hasn't happened yet. Every time he tries, it looks like Gaishu's radared him again, but yeah, they've got him lit somehow, but Gaishu's got to be running almost out. Surely he's used at least 3 or 4 already.
Yeah, Jones might go down here.
Jones, they might get him. They do.
There it is.
They absolutely do. That's a huge kill for FIM. Puts them up 2 ships, but most importantly, it puts them up 2 destroyers.
And remember, guys, the destroyers are the vision in this game.
Well, not only that, but they're definitely the cap control. They're going to get William too here momentarily. He's just been crispy crittered. There he goes.
The enemy is about to win.
Game 1 has been all FIM almost, just wall to wall. Take a look at 07's view. They're about to push Pieces is Daring into A, although the Summers is over there somewhere. We just don't know where. Kazakh's Kremlin about to step onto B. But when you're 3 ships down and you're this many points upside down, it's so hard to make good decisions.
Yeah, but 07's been here before.
They have.
Anybody can pull it out. I think they can. So we'll have to
possibly.
see what happens here. Polecat moving up now.
Well, and you've also got Gaishu coming down the channel here as Doyle radar, so they catch a glimpse of Gaishu. They know where he is now.
Gaishu obviously doing that, so he doesn't
Piece is getting hammered by the Venezia and the Summers. Tried to get into A, but just not happening. They haven't quite got him yet, and they lose sight of him. Yamamoto's Des Moines is also getting fairly beat up. He's under about 10k there, but he seems to be okay. He's moving back under cover.
At this point, it seems like FIM is definitely in the driver's seat. It's their game to lose.
No question, as with Potato PQ pushing through the C cap, that allows all the triple points gains to continue once again. Doyle turning around looking like he might be trying to kind of deal with Gaishu here. I'm not sure. There's another radar from Gaishu. It feels like he's been radaring like every 90 seconds like clockwork, but I think, honestly, Zath, it feels like 07 is throwing in the towel. Look at Doyle. He's just sitting there. Mm-hmm. He's like, just end it. Just end it.
Let's get to the next match already.
Yep. I think 07 knows this is over, and so they're just trying to, Virginity's charging Turkish over on the 10 line, and then when Doyle goes, that'll be the game. Wow.
Wow, indeed.
Solid play. I mean, I don't feel like 07's strategy on this map was flawed. They certainly got unlucky early on with the torpedoes taking out SAT, but it almost felt like, I also felt like their strategy at sea was kind of not really there, right? Like I expected them to have an answer for the destroyer coming in later on, and it didn't feel like they did.
No, it didn't. It felt like 07 had a plan, and then FIM said, well, we're going to take that plan and just trash it right away.
Certainly looked that way.